From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Wheels America Racing Network. We're here at Nashville Super Speedway. I'm Agent Capolo, about to bring you your commentators for the evening, Mr. Brandon Bowie and Emery. Emery, how you doing, my friend?
I am good. It's great to be back in the booth on this Thursday for the Cup race. I'm as excited as I was for Tuesday for the truck races, man. It's going to be a great day. The track's hot. The sun's out. Looking at practice time, and guys are fast. Brandon, how you feeling today?
And I'm feeling pretty good. Another great day here. This time we're in Nashville, and like you said, it is going to be a hot one. I mean, we're talking about 90 degrees at a track temp of 100 and up to 117 degrees. Woo! These boys are going to be cooking.
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see this unfold here in Nashville. Brandon, who are you looking out for today? Who do you think is going to be a fast guy on the track? Who you got your eyes on?
I don't know yet. There's a lot of I'm looking at the practice, results right now, and I'm seeing some familiar people up here. Brandon Six is P1 so far. Andrew Phipps P2. Nick Lights P3. Mark Whitley. Drew Jua. With Drew Jua, winning the race from last week at Daytona, I would probably say he's probably a favorite. I don't know. Honestly, it's kind of a little difficult to kind of choose. I don't know. I you know what? Come back to me a little bit, maybe midway through the race, and I should have somebody for you.
I'll come back and we'll get that name. Now, you were in the trucks Tuesday. What did you feel about the track? Can you give us some ins and outs of what you think these guys are experienced today? I know they're different rig here, but same concept. What are you thinking?
Yeah, so man, the trucks, of course, is a completely different animal compared to the Cup car. So let me put that out there right away. But there as well, it was hot. It was slick. I think the track temp was it was even hotter. I think it was like 130 degrees or something like that. So it was hot and it was slick. But over time the track did cool down. So for the first stage, these guys are going to be, well, I should say that they need to be really careful on how they're racing. Make sure they're not burning up the tires or anything like that. Then after that, just kind of get in a groove and just be mindful of how hot it is. You might have to move around different lanes and stuff like that. So we're gonna definitely see a completely different type of racing compared to a Daytona. So I think this is gonna be really, really fun to watch.
We got a full group of racers tonight. Again, Brandon Six, Andrew Phillips, and Nick up there in top 3 in practice so far. That will change for qualifying. We'll see what happens in the race. We got 2 stages and a finish for 125. Stage 1's going to be at lap 30. Stage 2 is going to be lap 70, and then we'll finish the full for the 125. Man, Nashville's exciting. I got my cowboy boots on again. I had them on Tuesday, and they are back on. I'm not changing a thing, so can't wait.
I don't have any cowboy boots. I actually don't have anything that would even resemble being a cowboy. But you know what though? You're gonna rock it for all of us. So I appreciate you rocking the cowboy boots. Maybe you could take a picture. We could post it up there and kind of show them what they look like next week.
We can. You're telling me you don't even have a cowboy hat in your closet? No cowboy hat?
No. And it's funny because I actually used to live in Texas many moons ago. I'm a Army brat kid, I should say, and my dad was in the military and everything. So I lived in Texas for a couple years. You would have thought that I would have brought something back from there, right? But no. I don't have cowboy hat, no boots, nothing, unfortunately. So I'm up here in the north now, and this is all I know.
That's okay. Next year, I'm going to be sending you a cowboy hat or something so that we can get this going here at Nashville. At the Young's Auto Center 125, this practice is still continuing. Different names here. Seen in the middle of the pack, we got Timothy Moore in the 74, John Wright 04, Brandon Fetterplace in the 34, running those 30.292s. Still fast. This group is super tight. The guys down below are in those 30.4s, but not much difference in the time frames from that 1 to about the 15th spot. So that's exciting to see. We're going to have a close race.
Yeah, I think right now it's coming toward the end of practice, but I think there's still a lot of guys out here that are really just trying to get an understanding of what to expect. For the guys that are, you have two different groups, I should say. You have your group of guys who are focusing on qualifying, and they're trying to put the fastest lap down so that way when they go into qualifying they're ready to go. And then you got your guys who maybe are kind of throwing qualifying away in a sense and kind of focusing more in the long run on what to expect in those stages. So it just depends on your thought process and where you want to go with it. But man, qualifying is still going to be important. So qualifying is really everything, especially in these hot weather days.
Yeah, qualifying is super important. And one thing that we saw on Tuesday is those pits are very important because we had some guys make some mistakes, especially one gentleman. I won't say names right now, but huge mistake in the pit. Cost them probably the race. And yourself got that win, Brandon. Do you think we'll see a lot of pits under green, one or two maybe?
I think for the stage one, probably not. Maybe probably for stage two. And then of course for the last stage, of course there'll be a green flag pit stop. But with the way how things are and the way how the track temp is really really hot, I think you're gonna see a lot more mistakes trying to get into your pit stall. A lot of times with this particular car and this next gen car, you have to actually warm up the brakes before entering pit road because you do use brakes, but a lot of these guys at this type of weather, they probably dial their brake in the front to the rear, so they have more rear brake. So it's gonna make the car loose if you're trying to enter in pit road. So it's gonna be interesting to kind of see how these guys navigate with this, with this hot weather tonight or today, I should say. And then, like I said, whether they can get enough box or if they slide through or maybe they're too shallow, I think you're going to see a lot of mistakes. And it's going to be really important who makes the least amount of mistakes to see who wins out in the race.
Absolutely. It's easy to do here. These cars can get a little loose on you. You see drivers going different routes inside the lane, under the yellow, staying out. So it's going to be fun to see how they navigate on this track. 3 minutes left in practice and still seeing some good times up top. We shall begin here shortly, man. I'm excited again. Nashville, we had a great race on Tuesday for the trucks, and I think it's going to be just as good on this Thursday. Man, what are you anticipating? I'm just lost for words on what I'm thinking on this race.
I'm anticipating if you're in the front, you're going to stay in the front. For the guys that's starting maybe toward the back, toward the middle of the field, I think that's where you're going to see the most action. It's probably where the most dive bombs going to happen and a lot of beating and banging. And it's just because overall, whether the track is really really hot or it's really cold, the track it's hard to pass here. And it's, as you can see in the practice, I mean, right there, coming out of 4. Like I said before, for the first couple laps, you're going to be loose. So being able to, like I said, manage your tires and being able to, have tires at the end of the run is going to be really, really important. That's how you're going to make your passes. But if you're staying out front, I would probably say maybe the top 5, top 10 probably stays consistent. It's really the guys that's from the middle to the back where you're going to probably see the most moves and the most action.
Yeah, and those restarts are very important. It seems like in the trucks we saw guys take off quick and very hard to catch. Yourself and Mark, and it just seemed like every restart you couldn't catch up. So that's very important on these. And like you were saying, these cars are tough to navigate. You got to warm up the tires. You got to get the brakes going. There's a lot more going on with these guys. So we may see some spin outs. Hopefully not. I think it's going to be clean driving.
Yeah, I mean, the restarts, I mean, like I said earlier, is going to be absolutely crucial, especially on the high side. Unfortunately, I kind of tested that a couple times on Tuesday in the trucks. Man, if you don't line up correctly with that leader, he just blows your doors off every time on that restart. So it'll be interesting to see how they do with this generation car.
Absolutely. We're about to wrap up this practice. We got about 30 seconds left here at the Young's Auto Center 125 in Nashville. Brought to you by Wheels America Cup Series. Everybody there on our YouTube, thanks for tuning in. We will see your chats throughout the race. When this practice is wrapped up here, we're going to take you to the anthem. And after that, we're going to go green. Actually, apologize. We'll do some qualifying, then we'll go green. And that's when the real action will start. Brandon. Welcome back to Nashville. These guys are in qualifying right now. And like to bring you to the Young's Auto Center 125 here with the Wheels America Cup Series Network. I want to shout out to our sponsors, of course, Wheels America, Admin Box, Flim Dogs, Units Moving and Portable Storage, the Nerds Doing Nerd Thing podcast, and also our best designs, our favorite designs out here, Harpoon Designs, man. Thank you so much for those sponsors. And I'm looking at times. Michael Bennett coming in right now with a 30.3. I don't think that will stay, but we shall see. Brandon, what do you want to do on qualifying here?
Man, qualifying was actually not very good for me as a truck. So it's kind of hard for me to say, but I mean, the rule of thumb, of course, is your first lap, especially with hot track like this. You kind of don't want to push it too hard on your coming up the speed lap, so that way you don't burn up the tires before you even get to your second lap. You know, if you're gonna run two. So, you know, you're like I said, you're up the speed lap. You're kind of just taking it in, kind of calmly. First lap, of course, you push it, and then the second lap, you really just give it, you know, whatever you have left. So, and honestly, I don't expect many people to do 2 laps. I expect probably the first lap is probably going to be the golden lap, the Gucci lap, what I like to say. You know, so if they can go ahead and hit that lap on the first try, shut it down, they're good.
Gucci lap it is. Andrew Phipps with a 30.2. He's got the pole at the moment. We shall see if that stays. Now, some of these guys were looking on the screen, kind of touching the wall, getting there close on the poles, trying to run the track as much as they can as they get high, come down low before the finish. You know, it's interesting you brought up qualifying, because you can practice all day, and once you get to qualifying, that's when it matters. Some of your thought process kind of goes out the window. It's like a brain fog, right? And you start making mistakes for no reason. But that's just nerves. You want to get the best time out here. You want to get the pole. You want to be top 10, especially on this track in Nashville, because you get in the middle, back of that pack, it's hard to make your way up front. So Andrew Phillips with the pole at this point in time, 30.2, followed by Timothy Moore in the 74. Brandon, seeing these guys up top here, what are you thinking of the names?
I mean, Andrew Phipps, P1, Timothy Moore. I mean, Timothy Moore, he was fast at Daytona as well. Andrew Phipps kind of got caught up in some things, so but I think he's gonna be fast up there. Brandon Fetterplace, I know him personally. For him to kind of be up that high is P2. I mean, that's pretty good for him. You know what though? I'm not seeing a lot of besides Brandon Fetterplace. I mean, the names that's up there is kind of what I expected so far, honestly. I mean, just a couple names that haven't gone yet, but yeah, it's about right so far.
Yep, absolutely. The guys in the middle of the pack that you're seeing a little bit lower that might not as qualified as good as they want. But guys, you want to look out for Thomas Minks in that 55. He's sitting in 8th grid, I believe. Nick Biddy, the 32. Matt Smith, Brian Dixon, those guys are people that you might see up front as this race goes along. And let's see here. What do we got? Andrew Phipps still there. 25 in the first grid, 30.2. No one's beating him right now as we're looking at the number 4 on the track.
And we're halfway through it, you know, and we're already, and as we just saw, Drew has 48 hits the wall, man. And that's for the fans that don't know. I mean, if you touch the wall at all, I mean, your lap is pretty much null, you know. So you got to do it, you got to do it again. Either stop and reset or try to run the second lap. But I mean, it like you said, you know, these guys practice and practice and practice to try and hit that magic lap. And it's just a little thing, anything that can throw it off. You know, you go in there, you make the slight mistake like Drew did there, and you're up in shambles, as our owner Steve Tucker would say. So I mean, qualifying is just so important. But you know, any little mistake can just throw it all off.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of a give and take, man. That first lap, you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be too aggressive. And then that second one, you're going for all the gold. You want to get the best time you can, and then mistakes happen. As you saw in that car, hit the wall, as I would say, kiss the wall, which I don't think that's going to be the last time. I think that's going to be the second driver that's done that during qualifying. Hopefully that doesn't happen during the race. But as it stands right now, Andrew Phipps in the 25, Brandon Fetterplace in the 34, and Brian Dixon in the 03 brings up your top 3 right now. We still got a little bit of qualifying left. I'm not sure how many drivers yet. I think we got maybe 3 or 4 drivers left to get on the track and qualify and get that time. But nothing's changed so far. Excited here at Nashville.
Yeah, it looks like Brandon Six is out here trying to put down a quick one. Looks like where he's lined up so far. P1 to the top
Look
of
at
the
that.
board. And
30.1 coming in late.
And it looks like he only ran 1 lap possibly. And sometimes, you know, like I said, that's enough. Once you run that hot lap, you shut it down. There's no need to run again, you know, and to run a second lap. Once you know that you've got everything out of it, shut it down.
Yep, take that lap, keep the good vibes going, and you know, if you got that good of time, why do another lap? You got the pull. You don't want to have any bad memories in your mind before you go racing. Just keep it clean.
Dunkelberger hits the wall.
26. That's a hard hit for qualifying.
And that, unfortunately, with him hitting that wall there, and then running across the line, that's basically his 2 laps. So unfortunately, he's not even going to be able to pull a lap down.
It's going to be done for him. The 77 right now, Mike, going as fast as he can. Looks like his first lap. What's that put him up top here? It looks like 34th at the moment. A little bit slower there than I anticipated. But looks like we are about to go green here. Just finishing up qualifying. A lot of good times, a lot of good drivers out here.
Yeah, it looks like we still got 2 drivers. Still got Buds, Christopher Buds and Julio still haven't put down a lap time. I don't understand the strategy in that, because there's 44 drivers and everybody needs to at least put down a lap. But those guys could have tagged the wall. And if they tag the wall, then like I said before, their laps aren't going to count. So, because somebody's going to be going home.
Somebody will be going home, and if you're not going to be out there qualifying, you're going to be starting in the back, and that's going to be tough to get through the pack here at Nashville. Like we were talking, qualifying's very important, and the guys out front, if you're in that 1, 2, 3 spot, are typically the guys you'll see at the end. We are about to go green at this super speedway, and man, what can you say about the track right now? The temperature, Brandon, do you think that's going to play a huge factor or not so much?
Everything. It's everything for today's race. The track temp is still at 116. and with it still being that hot of a track, man, it's those tires are going to be cooking. I'm just gonna be honest with you. The amount of how fast these guys are going into the corner, how hard these guys got to use the brakes. Man, these drivers are gonna be in the car. They're gonna be cooking a little bit. So it's gonna be important for them to stay hydrated and also keep their feelings and their emotions in check. That usually kind of rises when the track gets hot too. So we'll see.
Yeah, you said the track temperature. That is a very hot track. Hopefully these drivers can manage that coming in and turn 1 and 2, because it's easy to spin in these new Cup cars. It's hard to control, but a lot of talent out here. I think they can, but we shall see. Again, guys, welcome to the Young's Auto Center 125, brought to you by Wheels America Cup Series. You guys at home on YouTube, appreciate you tuning in. We are about to get to the grid and go green.
Yeah, we are getting ready as the cars are starting to grid.
All right, they are on the grid at this point in time, and I'm going to give you the rundown, top 10 here on the polls. We got Brandon 6 in the 66, number 2 spot, Andrew Phipps with the 25 car. Brandon Fetter place in 3rd in the 34. Brian Dixon in the 4th position in the 03. Timothy Moore in 5. We got Edward Marshall in the 6th spot. Joseph in the 39 in the 7th. Nick Litz in the 4 at the 8th spot. John Wright in the 9th, and followed up by Jeff in the 87 at the 10th spot.
We got Matt Fleming, the 88 of Matt Fleming in P11, the number 3 of Ryan Pasacco, sorry if I butchered it, in the 12th spot. 55 of Thomas Meeks, your boy, in the number 13 spot. You got the number 32 of Nick Biddy in P14. The number 54 of Matt Smith in P15. Number 26 of Ryan Dunkelberger, P16. The number 19 of Michael Bennett, P17. Number 84 of Jesse Nikula, I believe that's how you say his last name, P18. The number 45 of Jesse Erdman, P19. And the number 22 of Devin Rea, the number P20.
And that's going to wrap up your top 20. Stage 1 here is going to be 30 laps as they take off from the pits. They get on the track. 30 laps of stage 1, going to be super important. Guys need to keep their tires, man. And that's what we can't say that enough. They can have some issues out here, especially with the track temp. But we shall see. Stage 2 is going to be laps 70. And then we'll finish with the 125. Brandon, as they're getting out there, we see Brandon 6 and Andrew Phipps in the 25 and 66. Do you think they're going to stay out there as this race goes by?
I think they're going to do everything possible to stay out front. I think that's the play that they got to make. If they can stay out front and kind of hold those guys off, I think they have something at the end of the race. But unfortunately, we do have to quickly say, unfortunately, the 78 of Julio was the one driver that unfortunately had to be sent home. Qualifying lap. So this will be a 43 car field, and they are lining up side by side to get ready to go green.
Absolutely. Here in Nashville, that pace car is off, and we are going green at the Young's Auto Center 125, brought to you by the Wheels America Network. Turn 1. Looks like Brandon's out front there, getting the lead going.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, it's going to be important. And as you saw, they went to the front. They're trying to hold that, and they're going to try and do that the whole race. It's going to be difficult because those guys in the middle of the pack, they're not slow. They're also fast. So we're going to see a lot of shuffling in the middle of the field.
Absolutely. Most of this race, you'll see some side-by-side, as now we see some single-file action going. 66 right there, still out front, going strong.
Yeah, I mean, as calm as they are right now, I'm actually surprised. I mean, the top 10-ish or so, it looks like a single file. It's going to be interesting if 6 can go out here and really lead all these laps and without burning up the tires. I think that's going to be the most important thing to see is how he does on tires.
Absolutely. Brandon 6 in Brandon Feder place in the 66 and 34. We may say a lot of that name Brandon's, but make sure to clarify. Timothy Moore in third, looks like. We get across here on our first lap. Down, going on number 2. Clean driving so far.
Yeah. You know, and it's actually, I wouldn't say it's surprising. I mean, I expect these guys to go out there and put on a good show, and they are right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with just how slick the car is, and we're under caution.
That's the caution. I apologize. There's more laps than what I had said, I believe. We're having some issues there, but we will fix it. This is what happens with live broadcasting, live television. These things do happen, but hey, early in the season, we're trying to figure it out. Just like these drivers here, first caution's out in Nashville. Let's see what happened.
Got it. Yeah, just a slight mistake. Looks like by the 77. Looks like maybe he might have just moved up just a tick, and they were 3 wide. Maybe he didn't know they were 3 wide. Could look like the car on the outside is just barely just hanging on to the 7's right rear bumper. And if the 77 doesn't hear that you're know that they're 3 wide, that's all it takes.
Yeah, it looks like 77 did drift up there a little bit and had some contact with Mark in the 7. Not too much. I think his car will stay alive. But yeah, that's a bad break for the 77 coming up like that and causing the first caution. But that's racing. Hopefully he can get that car fixed and come back on the track. We shall see as the pace car is out at this point in time. Looking like Brandon 6 and Brandon Feder place and Timothy Moore are bringing up the top 3 at this time. Brandon, what do you got?
I mean, a little early, honestly, to really be thinking about strategy or anything like that. So I think, for the most part, we'll just take the laps in right now. I mean, we are lap 6 of 30 in stage 1. So, but I will say probably one thing is these guys are probably in the car and they're probably a little bit thankful maybe for a caution because they can kind of reset. They saw how the race started. They saw mainly clean it was, and then they can kind of think about okay, how hard do I need to push it? Did I push it at the very beginning? Maybe yes, maybe no. If I did, maybe I need to back it down a little bit because maybe I'm pushing too hard. Again, these guys gotta make these tires last for 30 laps. If they stay green. And like I said, when I did my practice, after the 10 laps, it was starting to go on the tight side. These tires will go very quickly if the car is too tight. So it'll be interesting to see what these guys' strategy is, but whatever they decide, they better make it quick because they're about to have to choose.
Yeah, as they make this choice here, it's good that you brought that up because you're right. If you get a caution after a couple laps there, you can kind of figure it out. You can push that reset button. If you made these mistakes in practice, if you made the mistakes in qualifying, you're out here racing, that kind of changes the game. But hey, you got a clear mind now. You got a feel for what this track's going to do for you. You got a feel of how these drivers and what position you're in. And now, if you feel comfortable, you can try to make some moves and do some passing. Side-by-side racing here, it's hard to get passes at Nashville, but it can happen. We've seen it happen. Hopefully these guys, they're in the middle of the pack. The Brian Dixons, the Edward Marshall, Matt Fleming, John Wright, right there, they're trying to make their way up there, and I think you'll see that happen as Brandon 6 and Brandon Feder place in the 1-2 spot continue here at Nashville.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I said, the game right now is hopefully stay up front, try not to fall back too far. As you stated, it's the further you get in the back of the pack, the harder it is to pass. So once you get up front, the goal is like I said, the goal is to stay up front. If you start slipping to the back, then maybe what you're doing is not working. So maybe you need to change your strategy. Maybe you kind of throw away these stages and maybe you focus on the last stage to maybe undercut them if they go green. So there's a couple different ideas that different plans that you can kind of do as looks like these guys start to choose their lanes that they want to go to.
Yeah, we got some insides and outside 66 and 34. picking their lanes here. It's a beautiful day. The sun's out. Okay, there's a lot of people here. The parking lot's full. And we're racing on a Thursday here at Cup Series. What can you ask for here at the Young Auto Center 125? Again, thanks for all you guys tuning in and being here with us. We're having a good time as these guys line up and the pace car comes off here shortly. We're going to go back to green. Man, good racing so far. Had a little hiccup. Guy got into another person. Wrecked. Not too bad. But hey, we're all still alive. We're going. Can't wait till we go green here again.
Yeah, and again, mistakes happen. So the goal is, hey, what can I learn from it? Maybe I made a mistake or whatever. So let me go down, get the car fixed, get back out there, go after it again. I mean, we still got a long race. We got 150, more than 115 laps. I'll say that. So still a long race, still plenty of time to get back up there. These guys got time.
Yeah, it seems like our cautions here are a little bit longer, but as I say that car's getting off there, and we're going to go green again here in Nashville as they go side by side. You can see Brandon 6 in the inside, and they are green. Green, green, green as they turn into 1. Let's see if anyone breaks away. Looks like Brandon's still going strong on the inside, breaking away from the pack.
34 goes way up high. I think he's way too high up there. He's allowing the third place car to actually get a run on him. But can he hold? Nope, he does not hold him off.
Not hold him off. Timothy Moore there, yeah, in the 74. I believe that is Timothy Moore. Passed it Brandon as he kind of made a mistake coming out of that corner. He's still right there, though. He can make a pass here.
Yeah, but unfortunately, the longer you stay up top, and we're back under yellow again. We got another.
We have another caution. That's brought out to here. Second caution of the night here in Nashville. It seems like these guys are checking up from the chatter a little bit. They're having an issue with the track. Maybe this is what we've been talking about. The track is 100 and something degrees. Man, I hope we don't continue to see this, but that might be the story.
Looks like we're riding with Jonathan right here. Figure out what happened. Well.
Yeah, 3 wide again in the back there. Just a simple mistake.
Yeah, once again, that's a 3 wide situation.
You're absolutely right.
The guys gotta know. You gotta know when you're 3 wide. But it looked like that might have been like a blinking situation. So, yeah, that one's a little weird. That one's a little unnormal than what we would normally see in a 3 wide situation if somebody crashes. So unfortunate situation. But again, like I said before in the last caution, there's still plenty of time. Go in there, get your car fixed, get as much damage as you can, get back on the track, reset, and go forward again. That's all you guys can do.
Yes, and that type of stuff does happen. This is iRacing, right? We are doing a simulation, but this has been good so far. I will say on Tuesday, we kept saying the same magic word, 3 wide, and we were running into cautions, running into trouble. So I won't blame anyone for that last one. The blinking situation is something we cannot control. But no matter what, we are 11 laps down under caution. And hopefully we can go green again here shortly and get some laps in, because I know these guys need it. These guys want it. I don't think this is enough laps to figure it out yet, Brandon.
No, it's even hard to even tell what anybody has for anybody at this point. It's just not enough long run laps. I think our longest run so far is what, 6 laps. So it's really hard to tell right now what these guys can do, what these guys are capable of. Hence why I didn't give you a driver yet.
Yeah,
wink, wink.
and I'm right there with you. I'm gonna wait till stage 2 to get my pen and paper out and circle that driver, because you know what? Stage 1, I'm not getting a great idea just yet. We're 12 laps down. We got 30 laps until we go to stage 1. As we look at a replay here on that wreck, a little bit of Lincoln comes up, and then he's against the wall. So too bad. Didn't see that, man.
Yeah, and honestly, it doesn't look like much damage. It looks like that was the 03 of Brian Dixon that we're riding with. I don't think he really got a lot of damage from that. It looks like he laid it on the wall as soft as he could. So I don't see much damage from his car. I think he actually look if anything he comes down and just puts some more fuel in the car and goes back out like nothing happened. So, um, but for these guys up front, I know they've probably got to be getting a little frustrated because they want to get a little separated and they want to kind of see what their cars can do before they get too far into the race. So, everybody just has to just mind your p's and q's, and these guys will get it together soon.
Yeah, no, you're right. And one thing you want to talk about is like in this early in the race, if they're getting in a wrecks, those type are gonna be okay. The ones you don't want to see is a banged up car hitting each other too hard. That's gonna end your day early, because guess what? There's no fast repairs. You gotta go in the pits and wait until that's done. And if you hit that car in the right spot, you're not gonna be coming back out on this track, and you're done for the day.
Man, you've nailed it right there, right? Because a lot of people, or a lot of drivers, they ran Daytona, they had a fast repair, and so they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna. No, not necessarily. Don't get the fast repair again. As these guys are about to choose, they're coming to the choose cone here. But yeah, I mean when you get your damage or whatever, like I said, I mean the important thing is to go and try to get that damage fixed as much as possible under caution. You know, if you have to go a lap down, then go ahead and bite the bullet and take the lap. But for the most part, you want to try and get that damage fixed. But thankfully from the cautions that we've seen so far, I didn't see a whole lot of damage from some of these drivers. So there's looks like they could probably get back out there and go ahead and still run the same speed and run the same time. So, but again, it's a little too early to be racing as hard in the back. But again, like I said, the middle to the back of the field is where a lot of the wrecks are going to be, a lot of the jostling and stuff is going to be happening. So, but we'll see. We still got a long way to go.
We got a long way to go indeed, as we're about to go green. These guys are bunching up to get this restart going. It's interesting that you brought that up, because you know what? When you get into the pits and you're stopping on this track to get that repair done, this track is not as big as you think, so you don't got much time. And if it's too much damage, you're sitting in there and you're down lap 1, down lap 2. Before you know it, you're out of the ball game. But as this pace car comes off the track, we're going to go back green here at Nashville. Young Auto Center 125. Brandon 6 and Timothy Moore now. The 1 and 2 green flag has dropped as they go. Brandon gets a great start on the inside, leaving away Timothy Moore right behind, and Brandon Fetter place side by side in the back, trying to track down Brandon 6 in the 66, but he is gone almost at this point in time. Single file now. Brandon, look at him go.
Yeah, look, like I said, for them, it's race time, so everybody's ready to go. There's probably going to be some hard racing, but again, like I said, the first couple laps it is a little loose, so this guy's got to kind of be mindful of how hard to push the car. But once the tires come up to temp, once the heat kind of resurfaces back for the tires, then you're Gucci, you're ready to go. So, if these guys can hold it together for the next couple of laps, I think we'll see a long green flag here.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That's the good thing about these drivers that are up in the top 5 is, they're worried about tires. But as you see Brandon, it seems like he's not worried about it because he's going a lot faster than everybody else. But I think he has more confidence out there in that car to control this track, so he doesn't get out of position. It doesn't burn up his tires in turn 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And a lot of guys might be holding back. They're not as comfortable as Brandon. Timothy Moore, Joseph, and Brandon Fetter place in that top 4, fighting for position. 17 laps down. We only got a couple more for stage 1, and then they'll get back out there. But good racing right now. No cautions. Looks like they figured it out. Single file up front, and in the back of the pack, we got some side-by-side racing. 66 still strong.
Yeah, it looks like, it's interesting as we're, riding along with the 34. You're kind of seeing a different line that he's taking. You also see that he's actually braking or lifting a lot sooner than the car behind him. So the car behind him is basically able to get to his back bumper. It actually kind of gave him a couple nudges on the back bumper there. So, if I'm a 34 driver, I'm actually going to pull over and let this guy go. This guy, the 4 car, which, it's just different driving styles. But, the 4 car of Nick Lights, he's a little bit more aggressive, just what I've learned with him. And he, basically let him go. There's no point of getting wrecked or anything like that. So, but you want to know what the crazy thing is? Nick Lights knows how to win races. He is our championship winner from the Truck Series from last season. So, not surprised to see him up here running in the fifth. So he's out here. He's doing what he needs to do. And I won't be surprised to see him up here battling for the lead here probably by the end of the race.
Yeah, that might be the guy you may have to circle. I got one name that I'm going to drop. Not yet, but I got him circled on my piece of paper. But also, as you were saying, hey, you might want to let these guys go by you. That's not always bad racing. That's smart racing. How many times have you been in a position where, hey, I don't want this guy pushing me as hard as he is. I let him get to the side and let him pass, and then I feel more comfortable. And guess what? Next couple of laps, I'm doing the best lap times I've ever had. And sometimes that will bring you back to the top 5. It happens all the time. It's all about comfort as they're figuring out now. 21 laps down, 9 to go, and we're going to do our first caution at stage 1. But, man, I like to see this racing. Interesting that it's so much single file, because in the trucks, I felt like we had more side-by-side, and then you had the top 3, 4 guys doing that single file. The whole pack right now at this point in time seems like they are just following the leader. But, hey, that's okay. They're doing it here at Nashville. Love to see it. 22 laps down now.
I mean, and it's still good racing. I mean, look at, it's 34 tax the wall a little bit. Gotta be careful with that. I mean, thankfully that was a little love tap right there, so it's not that, not that bad. But you don't want to continue to do it with the build that iRacing has provided us. And I think the last 2 builds, they basically made it so that way if you continue to hit the wall or continue to damage your car, then eventually those parts will break compared to how it was in seasons past. So, one little love tap is not going to really make that big of a deal, but if you continue to hit that side of the car, eventually something will break and could end your night. So, just got to be mindful of the little things or whatever, but still got, it's good side-by-side racing. You got the 88 and the 66 battling hard to, as the 88 tried to make the pass with the 16, and did he clear him? No. Oh, well, he disappeared. Oh, but yes, the 88 has cleared him. Actually made an amazing pass right there, so shout out to him.
Yeah, it looks like Matt Fleming in the 88 car making a good pass on the inside. Right now, we are 24 laps down, still on stage 1. Love to see these guys out here, single file, side by side, putting up good times. These top 5 guys are going to be hard to beat, but that's why we have these stages. It changes the whole game, and at that point in time on these restarts, anyone can win and get out front. As we see here on the inside there, single file. Side by side as we go through the finish line.
Yeah, looks like these guys are just, the 34 is maybe struggling a little bit. Or and like you said, maybe he actually took my advice without actually hearing me and said, you know what, I'm gonna let these guys go. I'm gonna let these guys kind of burn up their stuff, and I'm gonna kind of save my stuff and see what we got at the end.
At the end, sure, 26 laps, 27 laps down now here at Nashville Super Speedway. Brought to you by Young Auto Center 125, and also live streaming on YouTube, Wheels America Cup Series Network. We'd like to thank you guys all for being here again as we got some good racing going. I've got my cowboy boots on. Brandon doesn't have a cowboy hat or boots, so he's in the booth with me. He doesn't got it going, but we're okay. We're in Nashville. Anything happens in Nashville.
You're rocking it. You're rocking it for both of us, so I appreciate you.
Rocking it. Yeah, I will rock it for both of us today. I appreciate you as well, as we got 28 laps down in Nashville, and man, no cautions now. We had 2 early. I think they figured it out, and Brandon 6th and Timothy Moore, Andrew 5th in the first top 3 there, followed by Joseph, Matt Fleming, Nick Lights, and the number 4. Making a little move there on the inside. See if he can get that pass.
You know who's on the move? The 26 is on the move. He's passed like at least maybe 10 cars since that restart. Yeah, 10 cars. Just getting the confirmation. So yeah, so he is, and he's going for number 9. So I wonder if he took tires because he's moving pretty good.
Yeah, he is moving pretty good there. I believe he started in the 16th spot, and now he's working his way up to 6th. I'd have to double check. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I believe that is the case. 29 laps down, about to go to the end of our stage as that does come out. That's going to be the end of stage 1 here at Young Auto Center's 125 at Nashville Super Speedway. I think this will bring up our first commercial break as these guys gather themselves, go inside, and figure it out, and we'll be right back. And welcome back here to Nashville, here at the Young Auto Center 125. Good start so far. Stage 1 had some action, a couple cautions, but I think they're figuring out. Brandon, we talked about the guy we think who's going to be up there in the 1-2 spot. Can we say our names now?
Sure. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you pick first. I'm interested to see who your pick is.
All right, man. I was going to tell you to go first, but I'll go first. That's fine. I got my guy number 88, Matt Fleming. That's who I'm picking. That's my guy who I got circled on my piece of paper. Who you got?
Actually, I got 2 drivers, actually. So, I'm going to say either the 25 of Andrew Phipps pulls out a win, or Nick Lights makes an aggressive strategy move and takes the win.
All right, Nick Lights, you got him down there as well, huh? I like the names. That's going to be tough to beat. It's going to be interesting to see stage 2 come to an end and figure out how this all plays out. But man, not sorry about that. I was going to say not bad names there. I was reading here on the chat, and I do apologize. I am looking at you guys there at home on YouTube, so keep that in mind. We thank you for being here. And also want to thank our sponsors real quick here at Nashville. And we've got Wheels America sponsor Addenbach, Box, Flim Dogs, Moving and Portable Storage Units, the Nerds Doing Nerds Things podcast, and Harpoon Designs. Thanks, you guys, for all doing this for us. Wouldn't be without you. We like doing what we're doing here in the booth, and the guys love racing here at Nashville. 33 laps down. We're going to go green again. Brandon, do you think it's going to be the same ball game, or do you think it's going to change here in stage 2?
I think same thing. I don't really see a lot of these guys really changing up what they've been doing. Minus the aggressiveness might go up a tick. And yeah, and the fact that we might have to pit, which I think they will, because I don't really think they can go that far. But um, and if they can, I mean, with if you know you get some cautions, then yeah, you probably could make it. But um, I don't know. I don't, like I said, I don't see them changing too much from what we saw last time. I think it's going to be important, like I said before, save your tires. And if you can save your tires, then you'll definitely have something there at the end of the stage.
Yeah, tires, 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 man. The same thing with the truck series. That's what we were saying. Tires are important here at Nashville. They just came out of the pits. We're starting stage 2 here shortly, and this will end at lap 70, and that will bring us to the full green at the end of stage 2. But right now, they've understood what they've got to do, and we got the same names out here: Brandon Six, Timothy Moore, Andrew Phipps, Joseph, and Matt Fleming. That's going to bring your top 5. Base car still out there, and we're going to go green here shortly.
Yeah, with the restart coming on, it's going to be important to make sure you hit your gears, hit your marks. Again, this is a fresh tire, so it's going to be a little loose for the first couple of laps. So, you know, how hard do you push it to stay out front? I guess we're about to find out.
We will find out as the pace car leaves the track. These guys are bunching up for the restart here at Nashville Super Speedway. Young Auto Center 125, the green's out, and they are gone. Brandon Six, can he get the same jump as he's done in the past? And he has. He's out front as they go side by side in the back. Timothy Moore, Andrew Phipps, and Joseph all trailing, trying to catch him out front. Been a tough situation so far, but we shall see if that changes. Looks like we're doing 3 wide there in the middle of the pack. Hopefully they clean that up and don't get in too much damage, but as they do, looking good. Good driving side by side in the mid pack.
Yeah, looks like these guys are are really close to losing it coming out of the corners, but they're all doing a great job. They're holding on to it.
Holding on to it. Yes, they are. They're passing and making their moves, trying to get their positions and fight through that pack. It's not easy fate here at Nashville Super Speedway, but some guys know how to do it. As the 84 on the inside, I believe that was Thomas Meeks as well.
And these guys are actually a lot more aggressive than I thought they would be. But you know, it could be the fact that these guys are more used to now how the restarts are. We've had what, 4 restarts now, so I think these guys kind of figured out what they need to do and how hard to push it, so that way they don't loop it, you know, coming out of the corners or burn up the tires. So looks like it's looking pretty good for these guys. Maybe we can get a good long run here and really see who has the best car out here.
I think you're right, Brandon. Confidence is huge, especially on a track like this, because a lot of times you can find yourself going into 1 and 2, not feeling good about your corner and your position and where your car's at, coming out in the 3 and 4 and making a mistake. And if that mistake happens, you're spinning, you're hitting the wall, you're causing some damage to other drivers. But right now, it seems like they're comfortable. 37 laps down, 38, and no cautions here in stage 2 so far. I like to see this racing.
And it looks like, you know, Six is it. I want to say it actually looked like he was actually not maybe pushing as hard, and it looked like Dunkelberger is in the 26 P2. You know, he's trying to also kind of just run the same pace, which actually honestly is probably the smart move here. I mean, like I said, you know, you just got to restart, you know, and you know, if you push it really, really hard, you know, you have the ability to burn up those tires. You need to have those tires at the end, you know, so if you're pushing it right now and you know, you're in the middle of the field or in the back of the field and you're pushing it and you're trying to come through the field, you're praying for another caution, because you know that you're going to burn up your tires. You need to reset. You know, if you can reset and kind of everybody cools down those tires, you can go again for probably another 10 laps or so before the tires get too hot. So, you know, all these drivers got different mindsets, different strategies going on. It's just fun to watch it all play out and kind of see who's gonna come out on top.
Absolutely, and you know, you pick two drivers. I think I'm going to do the same, since we're not following the rules, Brandon. Okay, I've got my second driver now, and I'll take number 26, Ryan Dunkelberger. Look at that. I got Matt Fleming, I got Ryan Dunkelberger. I'm feeling pretty confident, but hey, anything happens at these racetracks. We all know that. as they are off. Ryan in the 26 car started 16th, and now he's looking at the 2 spot. Man, if anybody's comfortable in the car, I'd say it's him.
Yeah, he's looking really, really good right now. The fact that he's holding P2, he's actually pulled away from the 74 car of Timothy Moore. So, but then that makes me a little nervous. Could be burning up those tires.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Let's see what AJ got. AJ, you got any picks, man? Who you got?
Well, just because I have it all right in front of me, I'm actually... Oh, we have a yellow out. We'll get to that in just a second. Let's take
we'll
it
get
here.
right back to that as the yellow comes out. First yellow of stage 2. Let's see what happens.
We're looking at Chris Vanderplatz
going
into turn 3, and he's going to get spun by Ben Madden.
Right behind him
Oh,
in the left,
goodness.
and that's a bad spill. Oh, my.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable circumstances right now, Brandon. That was a heck of a ride. It looks like he just got right in the left of him.
Yeah, I would. That looks like a misjudge. Maybe a misjudge of when he was going to brake, and maybe Vanderplatz maybe just list a little bit earlier than what the 33 is expecting, and unfortunately, calamity happened. So maybe see if we can get a different view of what we got here. Let's see.
One of the bigger wrecks you'll see here at Nashville. That was gnarly there, getting into the wall and going straight up.
Yeah, because when you watch it, the 21 gets I believe it's 21 or 33. Anyway, they get into each other, whatever, and they hit so hard that the car bounces off the wall and takes back out the car that actually tagged you. So that tells you how hard that initial hit was.
Definitely
as you
a
can see, the
broken
guys
toe
behind, they're just doing everything to try and avoid the calamity that's going on. So, wow, what a crazy wreck there.
Yeah, Chris and Ben getting into each other. We all know that Chris Vanderplatz got the worst of it. I will say this: I don't think he's going to be back on the race after that wreck. He's going to be in the pits, calling it a day. The good thing about Nashville, if he's really getting out of that car, there's probably a lot of bars to go to, and he's probably going to want to drink after that wreck.
Yeah, or as they say in NASCAR, where's the Chili's? I think that's what they say. I could be wrong. I could have just butchered that whole joke. I'm sorry.
No.
I probably butchered that.
Don't be sorry. I'm from the West Coast. We don't have very many Chili's, but hey, a good Chili's is a good Chili's. I like that place.
Baby back ribs.
But
Yeah, they're really good.
They're really good. What is it? Baby back ribs. What's the commercial brand? Do you know it?
Yeah,
that's right.
that was a commercial back in the day.
Yeah, that's
right.
It's an old commercial, but yeah, not bad for somebody on the West Coast that's never been to a Chili's. So not bad.
I've been to one. We have
Okay.
one here on the West Coast, I believe, around me at least, and I've been there maybe once or twice. But guess what? I've seen that commercial probably 1,000 times. So
Yeah, exactly.
that's good marketing on them. And we're talking about it here at Nashville at the Young's Auto Center 125. We are in 45 laps here. First caution in stage 2 as these guys reset, and we're going to go back to green here shortly. Not many names have changed up top. Brandon 6, Ryan Dunkelberger, Timothy Moore, Ryan Pasoko in the 3. That's going to bring up your top 4. Matt Fleming in that 5th spot. Drew in the 48 and the 6. Mark Whitley, the name we haven't really talked about a lot, but he's creeping his way up there. He's in 7th. Andrew Phipps and Jeff in the 87. Man, a lot of names up there that we could see run away with it and get the win, but they are not catching Brandon 6 like we talked about in the truck series. They're taking off on restart. It's hard to catch that guy. He's getting a breakaway, and it's just tough to get the momentum to track him down.
Yeah, if you're the leader, you definitely have an advantage, and that's why I said earlier, if you can stay up front, stay up front. We saw, in the truck race, Mark Whitley, he led, I believe, the most laps, and it's because he stayed up front. He stayed up front. He controlled the race, And even though we could catch, like some of us could catch him on the longer run when we got to that can't talk. Sorry. When we got into the last stage, that's actually when we started to see like, oh, okay, well we can catch him. But then the caution came out, and then unfortunately his misfortune of speeding on pit road kind of gave me the number one spot, and then again I'm in the number one spot, and then people are struggling to kind of catch me. So
Yep.
if you are the number one spot, the number one stunner,
Number one
for
stunner.
all my old school guys that still listen to old school rap, the number one stunner, you're the number one driver, man. You can really hold off these guys, and you probably are gonna win the race. But you know, I like to see a little battle. I don't want to see anybody just go out there and just dominate. That's not exciting.
No, it's not exciting. It is exciting for that number one car, Brandon 6 right now. But I don't think that's going to be the case as we go green here again in Nashville. Pace cars off 46 laps, and we got the green flag as they take off. Again, Brandon's out, but there he goes on the inside. Let's see what happens.
That restart was a little bit not really good for the high line. I think Brian kind of anticipated a little late on when the 66 of Brandon 6 was going to actually go. It kind of just gassed a little bit, and we're back on the caution again.
Another yellow drops here. Let's see what happens. Hopefully it wasn't as big as last wreck. But let's take a look. Josh Larson looks like he got mixed up in this. A couple other cars possibly as we look at the replay.
Looks like this is already in motion.
And that looks like some issues with the car there. That's after the fact. If we roll it back a little bit farther, he's on inside. Let's take a look at how this unfolds. 51 of Josh Larson links again. So that's the second time we've seen something like that happen. And then tags a couple other cars, man. That's the things you don't want to see there.
I mean, thankfully, that does not look that bad. It is definitely not as bad as the last wreck that we saw with cars flipping. But
you're absolutely right. Looks like 51's got an issue with his front right. I believe that is. Is that correct, man? Or is it front left?
yeah, it's not turning. So it looked like it's the front right. It looked like he probably more than likely broke a toe link. Which now I don't understand the idea of still rolling around, but maybe the pit road is probably still closed. But that stinks, to be honest with you, man. I mean, anytime you break a toe link, it's a some amount of time that you're sitting on pit road. So you know, with I think it's a minimum of about 8 minutes required, I believe, or something like that. So, I mean, automatically that puts you a lap down. You know, that kind of mentally that puts you down, because you're like, you know, I'm just sitting here and I'm watching my competitors go around the track, and I gotta wait until my car gets fixed. So, it's a way to kind of put you down mentally, but hopefully he has some teammates that'll continue to uplift him and go out, you know, get the car fixed, go out there, know there's a possibility of him getting some laps back, and you know, can go out there and hopefully continue and you know, get back on elite lap and try to go after it again.
Yes, and that's all you can do when you get yourself in that position, and you gotta tow it back, or you gotta limp it back to the pits and stay there for a while. If you come back, hey, keep your laps going. You're going to be down, but you know, you want to put those laps in, get as much points as you can, if you can. Right now, 66 Brandon 6, 26 Ryan Dunkelberger, 1 and 2 there, 49 laps down, 50 laps down as we are here at Nashville. Going to go green. Man, interesting racing so far. We've had some hiccups. We've had some situations that I don't think I've seen a lot in the past 4 races. But this can happen. The blinking situation, net code, all that. It's part of the racing. We've got a lot of drivers out here. Anybody can win. Great so far, as I'm seeing it.
Yeah, it's unfortunately with the way how servers work and stuff like that. You know, this race is packed. I mean, there's literally a full field out here, and sometimes, you know, you can have the little hiccups, you know, where cars are kind of doing things that you don't normally see, acting a little wonky, and just being, just ultimately just weird, blinking out and stuff like that. But normally, the rule of thumb is the more cars that kind of fall out of the race, the better it gets. Well, folks, unfortunately, there's not that many people, if any. As I'm checking right now, I don't really think there's just a couple cars a lap down, but I think for the most part, everybody's still here, minus maybe one or two cars. So
Yeah, and it looks like we've got 3 cars in the pits, and I believe those 3 are going to be out of the race right now as it sits. One guy may be able to come back and get some repairs done, possibly Josh Larson. We'd have to check back with you and talk to him, but at this moment, 3 cars are gone. We're still going here in Nashville, about to do a restart at the Young Auto Center 125, brought to you by Wheels America Cup Series Network. Again, I see you guys there on YouTube. We are live every Tuesday and Thursday nights. Trucks on Tuesday. Thursdays we got the Cups. And man, Wednesday I do
forget
believe
about the super lates, man.
I did forget about the super lates.
Oh,
I apologize. That's my fail. Maybe I've been at Chili's too long today. I might have had a couple there, but you're right. Those guys are racing on Wednesday nights, and that's a lot of action. Can you talk about that, Brandon? Because that is actually a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and whoa, what is going on? Look like the 3 car is, maybe he turned off the car and forgot to restart. Jacking up the bottom lane really badly. But look, we're actually about to go green, so I'll actually talk about it if we get some time about this release that's coming up.
All right, we'll get some time. 50 laps here. The pace car's off, and we're going to go back green. Inside Brandon in the first place. Not a big jump like he has in the past, and we got a guy going through the grass. Is that going to be a caution? I think we may stay green. He's going to pull it slowly into the pits. 52 laps down. That's unfortunate right there.
Yeah, but you know what? He can make it up, though. I mean, the stage is in 19 laps. You just got to stay on the lead lap. Now, unfortunately, I think he drove onto pit road, which would be a penalty, so I don't know. We'll have to see how that kind of shakes out, but I don't know. But he's got to do everything possible to stay on the lead lap.
Absolutely. Black flags can ruin a race as well and put you at the back of the pack, if not 1 lap down, as Brandon Six and Ryan out front here battling as these other guys behind him, Drew, Ryan, and Matt, trying to catch him. Nothing so far that they can do to get her done, but they are pushing as hard as they can.
I got to give a shout out to Drew. I got to give a shout out to him, number 48 car. He is up 35 positions. Talk about mover of the race. I didn't expect that from any of these guys to be able to make it all the way up here. I expected them to make it, maybe midway through. But man, to be able to do that's pretty impressive. Shout out to him for doing that.
Shout out to Drew, starting in that 39 spot now, finds himself in the 4th. A couple of other guys doing the same thing. You got Mark Whitley starting that 40 grid and now looking at 5 spots. So they're right there, Drew and Mark, starting in the back of the pack, looking at a top 5 at this point in time. No one's catching Brandon. Still in that 1st spot. Ryan's right behind, trying to figure out a line that he can take.
Yeah, I mean, again, Ryan is being, from what I've seen, he's trying to get that, he wants that stage win. And that tells me that for him, the stage win is what's most important right now. It's not about the win. It's not about the saving the tires right now. It's to get maximum amount of points for that stage. And at the end, when you get to the playoffs and you get to the championship run, 1 point could be the difference between you making it and you not making it into, the next round. So I understand what he's doing. It's going to be difficult to pass the 66 because the 66 wants that stage win as well. So, they got a couple more, about 12 to 13 more laps to try and get it done. But, as the run goes on, you're heating up those tires more and more. So if you're going to do it, you got to do it fast.
Got to do it fast indeed. 56 laps down. This stage 2 is going to end at lap 70. they'll regroup. But man, good racing so far at this point on stage 2. Single file again, and as we look in the back of the pack there, looks like he's going to get a pass for 32nd, I believe.
Looks like the back. Ooh, one car goes all the way to the third lane. That is the danger zone. There's a lot of just stuff up there that gets on the tires, makes the track even worse. As the 26 is caught in the 66, we might be going. He might be trying to might be going for a pass here soon.
He's working as hard as he can. We might see a different leader as he is making his move. Right on the tail of Brandon. Ryan is in the 26.
Now, I do want to mention that they are on the same team, but there are no team orders. So whoever gets it, whoever wants it more, is going to go for it. And I think we're about to see a great battle within the next 10 laps.
Absolutely. As we're looking on board, Ryan in the 26 right now, behind Brandon, seeing what he can do. Great shot by the guys behind the scenes. Thank you. And as they're on the back stretch, 60 laps down, 10 to go, the end of stage 2.
Man, these guys are really putting on a show right now for the fans. I tell you what, with teammates battling each other, there's nothing like great clean racing. And even if you go back to the third and fourth, with who we got Timothy Moore and Drew Jua. I mean, they're battling hard as well. So you got two different battles going on. Both groups are trying to get as high as they can, because like I said, those points matter at the end of the day. Yeah, it's cool to get the win, and it's amazing to get the win, I should say. But if you can grab stage 1, stage 2, and win that and lead the most laps, man, that means you had max points for that day. That means nobody can beat you at points. That means, you know what, you did a daggone good job compared to the field. So yeah, it's as you can see, some of the guys are starting to actually fall off again because they push hard. So I don't know if Drew is going to be able to pass more. And unfortunately, it looks like, I don't know if the 26 will be able to catch the 66 at this point, because the longer we go on this run, the harder it is to pass.
So they got a little battle in the back there, side by side, maybe some contact.
It's clean though.
Yeah, it is clean. That's clean racing. That's what we like to see. And that is the number 19 right there. Michael Bennett making a pass. Those are small victories that can turn into big runs when you're making passes like that, even though you are in the back. Did we look like we may have? No.
What a run. Yeah, these guys are just, it's time. We're going to the end of the stage. Everybody's just to the floor and just going for it. If they can make the pass, great. If not, then hold on to your britches, boys.
Hold on to your britches, as they were almost 3 wide back here too, battling. I hate to say that word because it seems like at Nashville every time I do, something happened. But they're going strong. They're keeping it together. 65 laps down, no cautions just yet. A lot of green flag racing at the moment, but anything can change as they are 3 wide. I hate to say it, but they are. And looking like they're going into this turn 3 wide as well too. That's not easy at Nashville, man. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, it's crazy back here, and like I told you before, I kind of had a hunch that it was going to be a little crazy, and it's just because not only the different discipline of each driver, but it's just the fact that there's, oh my goodness, and there's 3 wide again.
3 wide again as they're keeping it clean.
They are.
Man, oh man. 65 there going by. And you know what? For this type of racing right now, this late in the race, I gotta applaud the drivers, man. They're keeping together. As I say that, contact.
Nick Biddy hit the wall, but you know what? Or got tagged, I'm sorry, by the 2 car. But you know what though? Hey, like I said, car's not broke. Keep going, keep going, and that's the philosophy that Nick Biddy has tonight. He said, I'm still going, don't care.
Yeah. Car is not broke, but as we watch a replay here, let's see what happened. That could have been ugly. On board. Little contact to the right, bigger than I anticipated. That's a bigger hit.
That's a pretty split hit for the 2 car. I wouldn't be surprised if he has something broke with the car now, or at least something that's probably damaged. He doesn't seem to be falling back, but
yeah, as we go to car, I believe, inside car number 2, getting a good perspective of what these guys are experiencing in the cockpit.
And just to let you know, folks, nothing has changed up front. That's kind of why we're kind of showing all the other battles going on, because unfortunately the top 4 or 5 cars are kind of spread out and they're kind of solo. But
absolutely.
But it was so close between him and the 60. Whew. Tight racing back here, man.
Tight racing back there, as he may get past with 1 lap left in stage 2. And there it is. I think he did get it. Got the pass right before stage 2 ends. And what awesome driving right now as we are about to go to the final. And you know what? I think we're going to go to a commercial break at this point in time. We will be right back. All right, we are back here, Wheels America Racing, here at Young's Auto Center 125, into stage 2 right now as they going into the pits. This can change the ball game. We've seen this in the trucks. It's exciting time because guess what? Mistakes can happen and it can cost you a race. I think these guys are getting in there. They're going to take tires. Brandon, what do you think there?
Yeah, well, as the last time we saw this on Tuesday, somebody made well, actually no, I think it was with the last caution, wasn't this stage, but anyway, but yeah, we definitely saw a mistake, and it was for the win basically. So you know, these guys, like I told you before, I mean, it wasn't a green flag pit stop, which I am hoping and excited that we hopefully can get a green flag pit stop. I want to see what these boys can do. But yeah, so I think that's important. But looks like we're gonna try and see if we can get a driver up here. Let's see who we can get up here. 6. This is Brandon Bowie in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, how's it going, fellas?
Hey man, you go ahead and so far dominating, sitting winning stage 1 and stage 2. How's the racing going on out there?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I haven't had a chance to really race anybody. I mean, I've had some guys try and challenge me and push me a little harder than I want to, the long run pace, but I've just been kind of trying to protect the right front, because as you guys can tell, as we get longer and longer in the run, the right front really dies off, getting to the point where you can't get the thing to turn. So it's kind of a balance of just running hard enough, but not too hard that you actually have a car towards the end.
Yeah. So, quick question for you. Before you guys get to choose coins. So you ran the race and you ran the truck race as well on Tuesday. Is there anything that you could take from that race that you could apply to this race today?
Yeah, I mean, I learned some stuff in the trucks that still kind of apply to the cup car, but there are some differences. My line's a little bit different on like entry compared to the truck, but I mean, where you have to end up towards the bottom, the line ends up being the same in the end. You just have to kind of do a slightly bigger arc with the cup car here. So,
Gotcha.
I mean, the big issue is making sure you get over this bump in 3 and 4 here. If you don't, you just sail straight because it comes out really hard.
I understand. Well, I appreciate you talking to us, and let's hopefully hoping you have a good rest of the race, and we'll see what you can do at the end.
Yep. Thank you guys.
Yep.
All right, so we talked to the number 1 driver in the 66, Brandon 6, leading us all the way through stage 1 and 2 as we go into the final, and that will bring us to a checkered flag once we get to 125. I don't know if Brandon's going to hold off Ryan Dunkelberger because he's right there on his tail. One mistake out of Brandon, and Ryan's going to get that pass. But you got guys like Matt Fleming back there, and Mark Whitley, Andrew, Brandon Fetterplace, and Jeff. I mean, they are close. Anything can happen in this final stage. Excited to see what does happen. Brandon, what are your thoughts?
I think this stage 1 is one mindset. Stage 2 is another. It's a very similar mindset from stage 1. The final run to the finish is a completely different mindset. Like I said, this time you gotta pit. If we stay green, you gotta do a green flag pit stop, and these guys have not done that all day. So, it's gonna be interesting. So we'll see what we can do.
Yeah, it will be interesting when those green flag pit stops do happen. They change everything. And as we go green here at Young Auto Center, 125, the green flag's back out. Brandon 6 doesn't get quite the jump he's been seeing. I take that back. I apologize. He's got a big jump. On the inside there, followed by Ryan and Timothy Drew right there chasing again. These guys are turning it up, 75 laps down, final stage in progress. We ended at the 125 mark, but that's a long ways to go. Side-by-side racing.
Yeah, so far, I mean, again, another great restart by the whole by everyone. Minding their P's and Q's, being clean. Hopefully, I didn't just jinx it, but they're even excited, and they're still really good.
Absolutely. Single file up front. Not further back as they are side by side, still battling, man. The back there has been a lot of action. They are trying to get their points everywhere they can because there's been a lot of inside, outside, middle, 3 wide. A little scary, but they're keeping it all together. Love to see it back there. 77 laps down.
These guys are I'll say they are definitely putting on the show tonight. Whether it's the top 5 cars, showing how close they are in speed, which is also pretty amazing. The fact that these guys are pretty much all running very, very similar lap times, and then you got the middle of the field to the back of the field, and they're side by side for laps at a time. So it's you pick your poison. Do you want to see the some of the fastest guys run up front and try to figure out how to pass each other, or do you want to watch the middle of the field and watch them go side by side for laps and laps and laps? So it's pick your poison. It's great racing all around.
Absolutely, and we are 79 laps down, about to go 80. And Brandon, what are we gonna do on this 80 lap? Should we bring the noise?
I think we definitely should. This is one of my favorite parts of the race.
We are back here. One of my favorite things to bring the noise. Sponsored by Harpoon Designs. That is a fun time. Couple laps for you guys at home to hear those cars go. And what do we got, man? We got 83 laps down at Young Auto Center as they are continuing to bring the action in that middle pack, side by side, 3 wide, keeping it all together, making their moves, and no caution. This has been great racing at this point in time of the race. Brandon, I got a smile on my face because this has been a lot of fun. This has been great.
Yeah, absolutely. When these guys finally figured it out, like I thought they would, once they figured it out, it was going to provide some good racing. It's been providing such a good race that if we go ahead and focus on P3, we'll see who is now the new challenger. Mr. Whitley has decided to join the club, and this is about to get real interesting because, as we talked about before, Mark Whitley definitely had a chance to win the truck race earlier this week, but made a slight mistake on pit road by speeding. So we'll see. Hey, he could learn from his mistakes. As I had asked Brandon Six as a 66, did he learn anything from the truck race? And he said he learned a couple things. So maybe Mark Whitley in the 7, maybe he did as well. Maybe he'll be able to capitalize. I mean, we got to stay tuned, man. If you guys aren't watching, you guys are probably about to miss a great finish for this race.
You're right. You cannot count out Mark Whitley. If he didn't make that mistake in the truck series, if he's in that one spot, he could have been back-to-back. But going to be hard to find those 2 guys up front, Ryan and Brandon. I had Ryan as my second pick and Matt Fleming as my first. They're in that top 10, top 7 position. We tried to get AJ to give us his names, and we had a caution come out, but I'm going to bring him in here. I want to know what names he has circled on his piece of paper. AJ, who you got?
What's going on, everybody? Thanks for bringing me up in here. I honestly, from 40 laps ago, and it's going to sound so stupid right now because they're really up there, I had Mark Whiteley and Drew Jua to go, at least Drew to go back-to-back from Daytona to today. So I know it sounds a little bad being 40 laps later, but those are my picks.
I would say they're definitely solid picks, sir.
I agree. Solid picks, but hey, Drew starting in the 39 grid is now 5th place. How do you say no to that guy? He's figured this track out fast. And, one guy of very few that we see coming through the pack like that. We got Justin Sorrell in the 33 grid is now in 10th position. Another guy there, Mark Whitley, who we just talked about, started in 40th and now in 3rd. Man, those guys are fast. It's hard to do that on this track. It's not like Daytona where you can come from the back, come from the mid, and go to first. It's not that simple. Nashville, you have to navigate. You have to pick and choose. You have to be patient. And these guys right now are doing that. And what do we got? We got 89 laps down. Getting closer to the end. No cautions here, Brandon. This is the racing we like to see.
Absolutely. And you know what's crazy? And you had kind of hit on it a little bit with Mark and start with Mark and Jua coming from the back of the field. It's so impressive to be able to come from the back of the field to get all the way to the front and be able to battle for the win. It not only is a confidence booster to the driver, but it is also kind of letting the field know, like, hey, like, just because I started in the back, like, don't trip that I can't come through the field and be competitive. And a lot of people will kind of take that as as a new respect. So, being that Drew, he won last week at Daytona. He's new to the league. I think he's showing a lot of what he can do. Along with Mark Whitley, he's showing what he can do as well. Timothy Moore. A lot of these new guys are really, really showing their strengths and what they can do. At the Mark Whitley, I think I jinxed him. He just touched the wall. I hope I didn't jinx him, but yeah, but
he might lose a couple.
Oh man, I hope I didn't jinx him, but but like I said, the new guys coming on board, they are really, really showing their strengths and really, really showing what they can do. So Man, it's going to be interesting. Now we do have the green flag pit stop coming up soon, so this could be it. This could change everything. This could be the winning thing.
Yes, it can. And I think it will change everything. Not everybody is good at the pits as some others, man. It takes a lot of talent not to just be out here racing, but to do a good pit stop, to get to that line clean, to get to your pit stop clean, and to get out of there. It takes a lot of time to do that right. And if it doesn't happen and you don't do it right, you're losing 1 or 2, 3 spots, and it can happen quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. And see, the thing that's going to be important for these guys, especially when they start pitting, is they got to figure out, okay, how can I outsmart the guy in front of me? How can I either be more aggressive on entering pit road, or get a faster pit stop, or just you got to figure out a way to pick up spots off of pit road. If you stop too early, yeah, you could pick up stops on pit road because you pitted before the guy who stayed out on track. But now you got fresher tires, and the other guy had older tires, and now it's flip-flop. When that guy pits, he's going to come out on fresher tires, and then you got to try to hold him off. So it's a huge amount of pressure and a big challenge to be able to outsmart another driver, especially if looking at the 7 and the 8. I believe it's the 88. I can't really see that far away, but they're battling hard. But at the back of their minds, they know, hey, pit stop's coming up, so either I gotta figure out how to get to the bottom lane, or I'm gonna have to wait until these guys pit, and then I can pit. So it's, like I said, it's a challenge all the way around.
It's a challenge. And when you come out of the pits and you got those fresh tires, that car will act differently. That will change the car dramatically. So that's also interesting to say, because these guys are comfortable with what they got right now, but once they get those fresh tires on, some guys may be timid. It may be a little loose for the first couple laps, or it may not. So that's always going to shave some time off of these guys on each lap. And other guys do it better than some. As we are going to go to that number 7, Mark Whitley, who has figured it out how to get up to this top 10, top 5 mark. Beautiful racing by him.
Yeah, but I said, but unfortunately, I think the little bit of damage he got from the wall, and I honestly think, from what it looks like, I think he burnt up his tires. I think he really, really pushed to try to get up there and try to make something happen, and I think he ended up kind of burning up his tires a little bit, so I think that's why he fell back, because he is starting to kind of be stationary with the guys around him, but it looks like there can still be a little bit more aggressive around him. So I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know.
It's impressive to see Brandon and Ryan out there with the tires, because they gotta be worn. These guys gotta pit. And I think a few of these guys are starting to do that right now at lap 99. So that's kind of the play too. Do you want to do it early? Do you want to do it late? We'll see how long Brandon and Ryan stay out there as we see them guys rolling in the pits at this point in time.
Yeah, it looks like we got EJ, Marshall, Brian Sissoko, looks like Brian Tagg, I believe I just saw. They're starting, and it's gonna leave them with about 25 laps or 26 laps on that run. Now, if they were able to, or am I wrong? I could be wrong. No, it's about 25 laps.
No,
so yeah, so if they're smart, or not, I shouldn't say smart. If they were able to take that information that they learned from the first 2 stages, then they know how hard they need to push. But it looks like the 66 and the 26 are doing a completely different strategy, because they're still staying out there. So this is actually,
it looks like Ryan just went in as Brandon stays out. So that's a very interesting aspect for Brandon to stay out there as Ryan goes into the pits. Yeah. Man, I'm surprised he can run the laps he is with those older tires, man. Brandon says, I'm still going. I'm good. Some of the spotters or whoever's talked to him saying, risk it all, baby.
Yeah, I think, is he gonna come down? No, he's gonna stay out again. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I think the 26 is, is going to try that strategy. Like I said before, he's going to try to undercut him and see if he can make up the time. Now Brandon 6 is about 2 seconds slower than the fastest cars on the track right now. So he's losing time. I mean, we can literally see it. Once the cars start catching him, we're going to literally see that he's losing a lot of time. Now, the plus side to staying out on these tires is that when you pit, you'll be faster than the rest of the field. But the thing is that you kind of got to hope that no caution comes out, because then you've kind of put yourself in a box. So,
Absolutely.
but then for the people who already pitted early, they would have to come down and pit again, because they won't be able to keep up with the 66. So pick your poison and pick your strategy and go with it. But I don't even know what the right strategy is, honestly, in this situation.
I'm not sure either, as he's still out there on the track. I mean, we're in Nashville. We're not here in Vegas. I feel like they are making some risky bets here. It may pay off for some of these drivers,
no.
but when he gets loose, is he going to tag the wall? He touches it. Those are the mistakes we're talking about with these pits under green. Not sure if that's going to bring out the black flag for him. But dang,
I don't think it will, because he was on the inside, so I think he's safe. I think if he was on the outside and tagged the cone, I know for a fact that would be an issue. Yep, but it looks like 26 is already back on track. Looks like he's trying to track. Oh, but the 66 is already in, so okay, so the 66 have put the 26 a lap down. So let's see if the 66 can come back out in front of the 26 and see what happens. 26 is to be putting down like the fastest laps he can, because he's got to make it back around.
He's got to make it back around, and at this point in time where it has shaken up the field. I mean, I've got 87 Jeff and Brandon Fetter Place in the 1, 2, and 3, but that's not going to stay long, as Brandon's leaving the pits at this point in time.
Oh,
and
this is
here
gonna
comes.
This will be wild. Oh, 26 past the 66 are side by side. He's gone. Now, the 66 does have fresher tires. So, can the 66 catch the 26? Too many sixes. Good Lord.
Lots of sixes.
Can they catch him in about 19 laps? That's going to be the game. Or do we have a caution? It changes everything. Oh my goodness. Joseph was just looking for a hole. If I could find the hole, he was going to place it there. That's
19 laps to go here. No cautions, I don't believe, in this stage. And time flies as they're still going at it. 3 wide, 2 wide, battling. Now we're back to 3 wide going in this turn.
This is why I love green flag stops, man, because this puts on a heck of a show.
Unbelievable.
26 is still leading. 66 has not caught him yet. Looks like somebody might have. We have to go back and look, but looks like somebody might have missed pit road. Looks like they might have made it.
Now I'm getting chatter. I'm hearing down on the race that some guys may have taken 2. Is that the call? Is that the norm? Because I'm not sure. That's what they're saying on the track.
I just heard that as well on the track. I don't know if I'm too confident about doing a 2-tire stop. I know that I've done it before, but it is not. It's not a fun adventure. But I mean, if you can make it work, and go for it.
Yeah, the thing is if you see Brandon out there putting that many laps in, and you're only taking 2, I don't know if that's going to hold up for him, as we see Ryan now in the 26 in first place, followed by Brandon, Nick, Drew, Matt Fleming, and Mark Whitley in the 7. That's going to bring up your top 6. Man, the things have changed, haven't they?
Absolutely. I mean, the it is really, really shuffled up. Man, I mean, just looking at the field, and I'm wondering also if Mark Whitley, as he sits P6, and you guys remember, he was sitting P3, and then he fell back So I'm wondering now if he is kind of learned maybe from how hard to push it, and maybe he won't push it as hard. Maybe he'll still have a chance to get up there. I think it'll be a little difficult, but you know, if a caution comes out, hey man, he could be right back in it.
Absolutely. A single file here going by. 66 right there, pushing.
Yeah, it looks like the 66 just has a lot more speed, and I think that's just because he waited about 3 to 4 laps after the 26 did, and those laps, those fresher tires are pretty much everything. Now, now the 26 can, you know, can try and block him, but yeah, it's just you just can't. I mean, it's hard to do that. I mean, the 26 would have had to check up the 66 a lot to try and slow him down, but then you have the possibility of being ran over. It's just not good. So 66 back to the lead. Oh, and we got a wreck here. And we got good save. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good.
These are the cautions. These are the cautions late in the race. I mean, we're at what, lap 14, lap 15. This is going to be our first caution of stage 3. And man, I don't think these guys like Ryan and Brandon want to see that. They were pulling away, they were figuring it out, and now they have to regroup, restart. And Drew and Matt and Mark Whitley are liking this stop right now.
He almost saved it. He almost. Wait, there's a car against the wall on the backstretch as well.
Yeah, he got him to him pretty good. Tried to save it and then lost it there at the end. Wow, that was a close one there. Almost tagged him good. Jonathan Wright, I believe, is the other guy that's against the wall in the grass there.
I don't know.
Not sure where he came from.
Yeah, we'll have to look at that. Okay, so Dunk decides to come down pit road, brings a couple guys with him. Now, if I'm 6, I probably feel a little bit more comfortable with my position right now. But if I am Dunkelberger, then I gotta hope that it stays green and that I can make up as many spots as I can within that you know, we're gonna probably restart with maybe 9 laps to go, give or take.
Yeah, 9 laps to go, I believe, when that's gonna restart for us. We had the Frankie in the booth on Tuesday, and he was talking about this track, how it's small, but it's not. It almost feels like a short track, but it's not. So it's got that vibe of positioning and that banging and stuff of a short track, but also you've got these long stretches on the back, the front, and these corners that can eat up your tires. So the dynamic of Nashville is so much fun, and you're starting to see it play out right now. 12 laps to go. It's kind of up in the air. It's interesting at this point.
I'm gonna be really, really surprised if we go green the whole rest of the way. I just don't. I think there's so much of a mixed bag as far as tires and guys who just pitted, guys who didn't pit. So I think 6 is banking off the fact that we're not gonna go. We will go back green, but we won't stay green. Like there'll just be, unfortunately, a rash of cautions, which, unfortunately, it is a high possibility. I mean, even in real racing, it's a high possibility when you get to this end of the race. But you know, but if it does stay green, that could be bad for 6, honestly. Being on, looks like, and I did go back and confirm, he did only take 2 tires. So it's going to be interesting. And then you got the 7, who I believe the majority of the rest of the field took 4. So that'll be interesting. But it looks like the 26, after taking his pit stop there, he comes out P19. So in Dunkelberger's situation, I don't think he has a choice. I think he has to pit. He had already got passed for the lead, so I think his only choice is to come in, take 4 tires, and hope the racing gods be nice to him and allow him to get back to the front.
Yeah, and I believe Mark took 4. I could be wrong there, but if not, he knows Brandon 6 took 2. This spotter, those guys, they know exactly what's going on in this race. And if I'm Mark with fresh tires behind Brandon with only 2, is what I'm being told, that is something interesting, and that's where I want to be. Mark is someone to look out for right now. Mitch Diamond in the 65 and Justin Sorrell as well. They can make this real close. We're gonna have what, 9 laps to go when we go green, 8 laps.
Yeah, exactly. So they just chose. It looks like the 66 chose the bottom, which kind of, not surprised by that. The 7 taking the high side though. Interesting, but they are on 4 fresh tires. So, or he is, or I shouldn't say fresh tires, but I mean they're used. But we'll see.
Used. Not used enough.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Not as used as Brandon Six's 2 tires that he didn't replace, but
exactly. So that's what I'm saying. This could get a little interesting. I don't know. Again, I don't even know what the right call would be, but I tell you what, we're about to watch a wild restart and a wild 9 laps. It's about to.
Yes.
They're about to get in it.
Yes, we are. And this restart will tell you exactly how Brandon's race is going to turn out. These guys like Mark and Mitch are going to push this as hard as they can. In their mind, they're saying no more cautions. This is going to be the last green flag to checkered. But got to unfold here. Pace car's off. 10 laps to go here at Young Auto Center's 125. Nashville Speedway. Green flag's out. And it's underway. A lot of action to be done here. 9 laps
we got
to go.
Going on in the background.
It could be a little mix-up on the restart. I do not see a caution yet.
No caution yet.
As they're 3 wide back there in the middle of the pack. Then we got a big wreck. That's a big one.
Wrecking. Oh, hard hits.
9 laps down, and that's the caution that we haven't seen all night, the big wreck. That takes a lot of guys not out, but involved. And let's go back to this replay and see what happened here.
Let's see.
Taking a look here.
Oh, yeah. I have a way up there.
Yeah, that's going to get involved.
So the
4 car, the 20.
3 wide. 3 wide
the
situation.
Magic word. The magic word, 3 wide.
Yeah, I mean the 3 and the 4 are just banging doors off of each other, and they just hook and then they turn right, and unfortunately the cars on the bottom are trying to avoid, so they go to the bottom and then calamity again. So insult to injury, which is an unfortunate situation. But yeah, like I said, you come into the end of the race, and these guys are trying to pick up every position that they can. So a lot of these guys are going to be really, really aggressive, and that's what we saw, unfortunately.
Yeah, some of those guys mixed up, I believe, were a couple lap cars, but you got guys like Ryan Masoko in the 3. I believe he was involved in that. The number 20, I think it was. Andrew was going to be involved in that one. Man, you hate to see it at this late in time of the race. They might not have a shot for the one spot that far back, but every point counts. You want to work your way up to that top 10, that top 15 position, and now you're all the way in back and could be a lap down if your car's that much damage.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's an unfortunate situation, especially at the end of the race. You did everything you could to try and stay out of trouble and not hit the wall, and to be caught up in somebody else's mess. I mean, it's frustrating. I can tell you that from experience. But it's one of those type of situations where you learn from the things that happen, and you take that knowledge and you go into the next race and you try to prepare better, and or you do the same thing that you did to get you where you were, and just try to capitalize on it. So that's really only thing you can do in these type of situations. It's especially when it's not your fault. You just get caught up in stuff.
Yeah, we got the caution car out there right now. 6 laps to go at this point in time. As we go green, we're probably looking more at 4 to 5. A couple names we haven't talked about that are creeping their way up there. Thomas Meeks now in the 8 positions. What I'm reading on the board here. Julio in the 78 is now 9th, creeping his way up there. Nick Biddy, 32, is 11th. Some guys that were way down the pack and now seeing themselves up in the top 10.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the looking at the results to kind of see where the rest of the guys were and everything, and it's there are some, again, the cream was the cream rises to the top. Is that what the saying is?
I think it is.
So there's a couple new people up there. It's a good mixed bag. I guess I can say, of veterans and rookies. But it's great to see it though. It's great to see the new guys coming in here, showing what they can do, and showing that, hey, I can run with the veterans too. I'm fast too. I can go out here and win. So it's great to see that, and it's great to hopefully the more these guys race around each other, the more the guys kind of understand who's the fast guys, and maybe who's the guys that are, I should say, not as fast but are still competitive. So there's a lot of learning still going on. We're only the second race into the season, so a lot to still learn, from driver to driver, and especially just racing around each other. So yeah, it's gonna be a learning curve, but like I said, I believe some of these rookies are gonna go out there and definitely take some wins from these veterans out here.
Agree. It's a true testament to these guys, being a vet, being a rookie, man. It's awesome to see this. It's great. It's great competition. Race number 2 of this season has been fantastic. Daytona was great. I just, you can't say it enough, man. I love to see these names up here. If it may be a veteran, it may be a rookie. You don't really know. And as time goes by, as we get later in the weeks, as points change, I think we'll see some names up there to the top, and a lot of them, I believe, will be rookies.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially as the races, we keep going through the races. People get more and more familiar. Like I said, I think we're gonna start seeing some different names up front. It's gonna be a really good surprise. But hey, they're lining up here. They're about to go green. They're about to hit the restart box. 6-6 is gone, and we are back on the green.
Back under green, yes, we are. Brandon 6 is not a new name we've been talking about, in a big wreck in the back again. Man,
and that was
we saw this. Too. It was a big one. We saw this in week 1. I want to say it's these restarts, and I'm not sure if it's a situation where they're bunching up too much, checking up, and this is something that you see right here. Big wreck involves a lot of cars on a restart, and we had 4 laps to go.
Yeah,
man, oh man, let's see what happened here.
So the bottom checks up, and then it looked like they connect, and the 48 and the 2 get together. Ooh, 53 had nowhere to go, just ran straight into the 2.
These races have been interesting because I want to say all the races that we've had in the trucks and the Cup, majority of them, I would say 75, maybe more, 85% have been a green, white, checkered flag. So we may see this again, and I think we will. Is that the case here, Brandon? Are we going to get a green, white, checkered, or what are we looking at here?
Yeah, right now we are set up for a green, white, checker. So here's another thing to think about. If you are the 66 and you took 2 tires, how much fuel did you take? Did you take enough fuel? Do you have enough fuel to make it to the end now? Did you calculate that when you pitted? Because a lot of times, you when you do your fuel calculations and stuff like that, you only take enough fuel to make it to the end of the race. But now with stages, you have to put that into consideration as well, how much extra fuel you might need. Now, he is probably good since we've had several cautions, so they've been able to kind of save even more. But if this would have, for example, stayed green, and it came out that was the caution or something like that with the green, white, checkered, you really don't know. And having low fuel can sometimes kind of cause a little havoc with the car, and it kind of gets like a little problem with the pickup one sometimes on the throttle. So but I don't know. I mean, we'll see, but it's going to be interesting on this restart here.
You're absolutely right, Brandon. fuel hasn't really been on the radar, but if that caution didn't play out like it did, we could have a situation where Mr. 6 in the 66 didn't see it. We're not
And
going
we
green here
are-
just yet, guys. I
know
don't
we-
believe.
Okay, no.
Yeah,
So
we
it looks
still
like
are
we
under
extended one lap.
caution here. They got to regroup and get back. But again, yeah, Brandon could have had a position where he doesn't have no fuel, and that would have been quite the scene. But that's not the case. I think he'll be good the rest of this race. You know, we got Brandon 6 up front there, Mark Whitley in the 7 in the 2nd spot, Mitch Diamond in 3rd, Justin Sorrell in the 4th spot, Brandon Fetterplace in 5th, Timothy Moore and Jeff. You know, these guys are up top. They've been up top, but there's some new faces as well. Thomas Meeks is creeping up there in the number 10 spot. He might make a push. But 2 laps to go, 1 lap. That's going to be tough to do.
Yeah, it's the difficult thing about these, you know, restarts and green white checkers. I mean, you basically put everything you got into it, because basically, as I've been told a couple times, my team owner would tell me, look, just bring me back to the steering wheel. I really don't care what the car looks like. And sometimes that works, and sometimes it doesn't. So this is going to be interesting on this restart here, as it looks like we're about to go.
Yeah, looks like we're about to go. Pace car's off. 3 laps to go here in Nashville at your Young Auto Center, 125, and the green flag has dropped. Underway, crossing the finish line, side by side. Brandon out front again, got a huge jump. Looks like he's only running on 2 tires, but it doesn't matter at this point in time. Mark Whitney right behind, chasing as we go 3 wide.
Woo, they are driving hard, trying to pick up every position that they can. 3 and 4 wide going on back here.
You don't see that very often at Nashville, but we're seeing it a lot tonight as Brandon and Mark battling it out. 1-2 spot, single file as they come back across.
White flag.
White flag's out. This will be the final lap. 3 wide again, 1 car into the wall. Looks like he's going to save it. No caution yet, but that might bring out some other guys. Still green, multiple wrecks, lots of people going, and Brandon is pulling away. Mark chasing, but I'm not sure he can catch him. As they cross the finish line, Brandon 6 is going to win it here in Nashville at the Auto Center 125. Good win for him, and brings up Mark Whitley in 2nd.
Yeah, so you know, great job to the 66 for getting it done. Like you said, Mark Whitley coming home P2. Not bad for you know, hitting the wall earlier in the race and still coming home P2. So shout out to him for that. Justin Sorrell, driver number 27, I should say. Sorry. Justin Sorrell comes home P3. Number 34, Brandon Fetterplace P4. 74 of Timothy Moore P5. 78 of Julio, which I guess there was a mix-up. I didn't think he made the race. It looks like he did. Comes home P6. 87 of Jeff Petro, I'm sorry, P7. 22 of Devin Rea, P8. 55 of Thomas Meeks, P9. And P11 of Jamie Graham. Rounds out your P10.
Amazing there. And we're looking back live here at that wreck in the back. And man, going board here, 3 wide again. Looks like.
Yeah, okay,
hit
so
the back, no low. Then comes back up.
Oh,
And he's on his top, almost saves it. But backwards on the wall. Not what you like to see on the final lap.
I guess we need to see what. I guess, can we go back and look at the 26? Because the 26 is the first person we saw that hit the wall. I guess if we can go back and see what happened there.
So much action tonight here in Nashville. It's been an amazing race.
Oh, he just got loose. Wow.
Got loose and hits the wall right there. Domino effect up front there. Man, a lot of guys involved at the end of this race. You hate to see that. You do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but Like I said, it's the green white checkered. You're coming down to the end of the race. You're going to do anything and everything to try to make it the positions. And I think we saw that with even Brian Dunkelberger, throwing it in the corner and trying to make a pass. And unfortunately, that kind of just bit him right there. But wild finish coming to the end. I mean, as you can see there's 3 wide, even coming out of turn 4. So wild finish.
Wild finish and great action again. I cannot say how fun it was to watch these guys race how they did. I mean, the middle of the pack were crazy. 3 wide passing, inside out. I can't explain that enough. Brandon Six did a great job holding off the rest of the pack basically the whole way through. And watching these guys pit under green was fantastic. So everything played out how it is now. You had Brandon Six, Mark Whitley, and Justin Srill wrapping up the top 3. Man, we want to thank everyone a part of this. Our sponsors here at the Young Auto Center 125, Wheels America Cup Series. Fantastic night. This has been great. I think we are going to go down to our drivers. Brandon, do you want to speak with these guys real quick?
Yeah, let me see if I can get them. Let's see who we got here. Mr.
Yeah.
Justin Sorrell, you got a copy?
I do.
Hey man, great job on your P3. Tell us about your race.
Qualifying definitely did not go as planned, as you can see, but we did a little saving. We did a little practice this week, trying to get some track time in. And after that second restart, I really thought that it was going to not go in my favor at all. But we did some really good choices throughout the race to make it back up to the front, and decide to stay out at that last caution when everybody else went into pit, and came in 4th and then worked my way back up to 3rd. So I'm very happy with the way that today went. It was definitely a struggle, and I really want to give a huge thanks out to CVP Racing and Alliance Material Handling for my sponsorships, and definitely appreciate that.
Okay. Well, shout out to them for the sponsorship for you. So I do got a question. So we have I believe Pocono is next week. Are you excited for Pocono, or what's your feelings on that?
I did really well in the we did a recruitment race with the series at Pocono, and I actually finished 4th there. So
Okay.
I feel like I've got a good line there. I feel like I've got a good tire save line with some speed there. It's just going to be about working with your teammates there on those long straightaways for drafting, and making sure that you can stay up front. So I think we've got a really good team built this year, and on those draft tracks, we do really well. So I'm excited about it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Sorrell, for coming in and speaking with us. Congratulations on your P3, sir, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, sir. You guys have a good one.
All right, and we're going to try to go ahead and grab P2. Mr. Mark Whitley, you got a copy, sir?
Gotcha.
Well, congratulations on your P2, sir. Wild race for you. I was actually pulling for you. I saw one time you hit the wall, and I thought I jinxed you. So if I did, I apologize for that. But wild race, you finished P2. Tell us how your race went, man.
Well, it started off probably the worst split you could imagine on qualifying. Tried to take lap 1 easy, just get the temps up, get some air pressure in the tires. And lap 2, I don't know if had an elephant riding shotgun with me or something, but it got so tight off 2, I about moved the fence back about 6 feet and started 40th. I think I looked it up. That's the worst start I've ever had in a league race, so that was always fun. Race was crazy, very crazy. Having to drive through traffic is nerve wracking anyway, but this track, the car was so tight in traffic, it was kind of nuts. And then I remember at the beginning there, we wound up 3 wide in the middle, and I was just kind of staying where I was, and I thought I held my line. And inside car, I don't know if he didn't know if we were 3 wide or something or what, came up, and somehow I got the ding for that one. But it didn't really matter. It was still early in the race, and we just kind of plotted our way back through the field and took 2 on one of the stage cautions to try to get as much track position as we can, and it worked out. It helped it rotate through the center, at least for the first half of the run. And after that, we were kind of back up front, and we just kind of steadily started plugging away, and we got to the front toward the end of the race, and I think we just kind of ran it too hard, and tires are falling off of it. But thankfully, by that point, we were up front where we wanted to be, and then we took two under that last green flag stop. Just trying to not lose as much time as we could. And the caution came out, and I stayed out thinking, maybe everybody else will pit, and we can maybe try to hold them off for the win. And Brandon he stayed out too, and it was just trying to time the restart good. First time I didn't do a good job. Second restart, I thought I got a decent jump, but he still got me. And then third one, he psyched me out, and I went a little early, had to back off, let him back by. And after that, it was pretty much, just holding my position for second, because these cars, it takes a couple laps to really do anything with the car in front of you. So, I'll take it second place after starting 40th. Hoping for a win, but whenever you start 40th, you have to change your expectations a little bit, I guess.
Absolutely. I as a driver, I've definitely been in that situation before. So we got Pocono coming up for next week. How do you feel about Pocono coming up?
I used to feel pretty good, like confident Pocono. The last few races I've had there haven't really went my way, so hopefully we can turn it around and get back on a good momentum. Hopefully we don't plow the wall down in qualifying, have to come from the back of the field. I know it's another track, it gets kind of tight if you abuse the right front, so hopefully we can take care of it and do good and come out with another podium or top 5.
Okay. And before you go, anybody you want to shout out or give thanks to before you go?
Yeah, big shout out Brantley Harpoon Design, putting together this awesome race car. All my paint schemes I use this league, other leagues, he does awesome work. Check him out at harpoondesign.com. He's also, I think, got like 1,600 paint schemes on Trading Paint if you want to check out some of his other work he's done. So check him out. And then big shout out to my family, always tuning into these broadcasted races. Appreciate them. Already got a couple text messages from them talking about a good job on getting through the craziness with the pack. So appreciate their support, and look forward to racing next week in the truck series. I think the first race, and then we come back here on Thursday. So should be a fun time.
All right. Well, that will be the driver of the number 7, Mark Whitley, finishing P2. Great. Winner of the race, Mr. Brandon 6. You got a copy?
I do. How's it going, fellas?
Well, we are just smiling from ear to ear. What an amazing wild race that we just watched, and watch you win the race. So that was pretty cool as well. So tell us how your race went.
Pretty good. I could be wrong, but I think I led every lap, unless someone stayed out under a caution. But I mean, that was the plan. Once I got the pole, was just trying to keep the clean air on this car. Honestly, trying to, like I said, protect that right front and just keep the thing turning as much as possible. I had some guys really kind of push me more than I wanted to. I know Ryan was pushing me. I'm like, dude, you're pushing me way harder than I want to. I'm like, chill out. But obviously, he's going for the lead and doing what he needs to do. So, but I was just maintaining my pace, and overall, it worked out. I was a little nervous on that when that caution came out. I was like, do I pit? Do I not pit? But I've seen so many times lately where if you pit, you don't have the time to get back to the front, and apparently that was the case tonight as well.
Yeah, the cautions at the end, unfortunately. Be honest with you, I would have loved to see stay green, so we can kind of see what would happen. But it's part of racing, so we take great racing either way. So we got Pocono coming up. So how you feel about that next week?
Pocono's hit or miss. Like, if it stays green, we have a long green flag runs, I think I'll be really good. But if it ends up being a lot of short runs, packed up, a lot of side drafting, all that good stuff, I think I'll still do okay, but definitely won't have the dominating performance that I had tonight.
Gotcha. Okay. And before you go, you got anybody you want to give a shout out to before you leave?
Yeah, of course. I got to thank Battle Beaver for being on the car for this season. Bowie Esports and everybody on that team. We do amazing work, and we work really hard for these races and all the other races that we do. I gotta thank Max Graphics, Elwood Designs, and Circle B Diecast, and then obviously Steve for putting on this league, and you guys for putting on this broadcast.
All right. Well, that's going to be your winner. The number 6 of Brandon 6 for the Young's Auto Center 125, brought to you by Wheels America Network.
Oh, and thank you, Brandon. Hey, congratulations to these drivers out here. It's been a fantastic race. We will be talking about this for weeks to come. Hey, Brandon Six got the win. Unstoppable tonight, really, it really was. Like he said, led every single lap. But these guys in the back, it was fun to watch those guys make their moves. We want to thank everybody out here, our sponsors, Wheels of America, Admin Box, Flim Dogs, Units Moving and Portable Storage, the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, and obviously Harpoons Design. Thank you, everybody out here. Thank you at home there, YouTube, Wheels America Racing Network. We appreciate everyone tuning in. And hey, Brandon, this has been a great race. Amazing job by all these guys.
Yeah, absolutely. This race will definitely be one of the popular ones. I mean, I think even though it did seem like it was a little difficult to pass, I think the racing in the middle of the field and toward the back was pretty amazing to watch. I mean, 2, 3 wide, even sometimes 4 wide, and these guys just not caring. I mean, some of these guys were just throwing blows, right? But like I said, overall, a really, really good race. I really enjoyed it. I'm excited for Pocono next week. That's actually one of my favorite tracks. I know a lot of people don't like it because a lot of straightaways, but man, straightaways create side drafting, which creates crazy bonsai passes. So I'm pumped. I'm ready for Pocono next week. Can it be next week yet? I'm ready.
Yeah, it will come soon. But for tonight, thank you, Brandon. It's been a pleasure being in the booth with you. And big thanks to AJ behind the scenes doing what he does. And big thanks to Steve as well. Couldn't do it without those guys. We will see you next week in Pocono. Thanks for tuning in tonight, and good night.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.